wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, 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 I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, 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 yeah. Searching for greatness in a sea of the dying and shameless, a sea of the aimless. I don't wanna be one of the nameless. I'ma wake up with the mindset that one day I'm gonna make it. And I don't think I'll be fine if I don't break my limitations. Don't try to stop me, I exist to write my own story. I'll make a decision if I want some peace or if I want the glory. Yeah, don't want a life that is complacent or possibly boring. I just want a life that is worth every day exploring. My whole life I just wanted someone who would notice me. My whole life I just wanted to be somebody to be. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, 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 I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, 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 yeah. This is a statement to appreciate all that is vacant. It's just for the taking. If you make up your mind.
Hello everyone, Marko Yamashito here. Thank you everyone for joining me for the quick guerrilla stream here. I hope everyone can hear me okay. I'm really doing this on the fly. I haven't had any chance to set anything up. And just so you guys know, if I get cut off, I have my area has had a lot of severe weather the last 48 hours. It seems to be dying down now. I think most of it has passed for the night, but it is still like we are still having some lightning and thunder and some gusty winds outside, but it's not nearly as bad as it. Ooh, my chat box is way off. But it's not nearly as bad as it was several hours ago, where the power was flashing on and off, and we had tornado warnings and extreme alerts for 90-mile-an-hour winds and all that fun stuff. But yeah, that stuff is still going on further south of me. So if the internet gets knocked out or the power goes down or something like that, I do have battery UPSs that keep me going for a little bit, so I can at least sign off properly. But if our communications do drop and my stream does drop, I do apologize for that. But Alvin, welcome. Lex, welcome. Lurkers that are in chat, welcome. I appreciate you guys being here. Just real quickly, just to recap what was transmitted on what's been transmitted by Cover and on Twitter and so on and so forth. Cover has issued a statement regarding the termination of Rushia, an updated statement. Konbawa, konbawa, Oreo, konbawa. Alvin, just, Oreo, welcome, welcome. I'm not sure why not everyone's chat is showing up in my chat box either. That is weird. Okay, there's a lot of weird stuff going on. This is really starting to get weird. Okay. Well, anyways, well, I'll have to check in on that. Maybe my auto mod bot is over moderating. But yeah, so just to read over it real quickly for those of you who haven't read through it yet. Basically, what cover said is, thank you for your continued support of Hololive Productions. With regard to the press release of notice regarding termination of our contract with Rushia, Uhura Rushia, issued by our company on February 24th, 2022, we have confirmed some rumors on social network services and on other internet media that, quote, the press release contained some errors and our company has officially acknowledged them, unquote. We would like to reiterate on our company's position that there was no error in the past release, nor have we ever acknowledged any error from the past release. Please continue to refer to our announcements for official information. Lastly, we would like for your consideration to refrain from any form of slander to the related party in this manner. Okay, so that's what the English translation says. Now, that is kind of truncated compared to what the Japanese translation says. The Japanese translation does have a little bit more added into it. It doesn't change it too drastically, but according to the Japanese press release, it says the press release, quote, notice concerning cancellation of Uhura Rushia's contract issued by our company on Thursday, February 24th, 2022, states that, quote, there is a partial error in the content of the release, which is officially acknowledged by our company. Let's see here. Unquote. There are rumors on social network sites and some other internet media that there are some errors in the release, and we have officially acknowledged them. It is our opinion that there is no mistake in our recently announced release, and that we have not admitted to any mistakes. There is, in fact, no errors. We would like to state that there are no errors in the recent releases, in our press releases, and that we have not confirmed any errors in the release. We will continue to provide you with official information as soon as it becomes available, which they have not provided any information, as far as I'm aware of, since their last releases, official press releases. In fact, they have the last official updates that they have confirmed or released were the completely ghosting of everything in regards to her officially, other regarding her videos and everything else. So if we're supposed to if we're supposed to wait for them to provide us more information, where's that information if they are not going to provide us that information and they're just waiting for they just want it to go away, so I don't quite. That's a lot of lip service right there. That's that's a typical line that every company feeds everyone just to say quietly say f off. That's basically what it means. you know Finally, we'd ask you to refrain from slander and defamation of any party involved, not just the related party involved, any party involved. They're trying to cover their asses, as well as trying to act like they're protecting her ass when in fact they don't care. And we'd appreciate your kind attention in this matter, which they basically just want it to go away. I mean, if they really wanted to make it go away, they would make it go away by force. But as soon as they would make it go away by force, it would automatically come out that they are forcibly shutting people down, and that would not look good on their end. So they are, doing this passive aggressive type of release. Okay. So, in a way, it's a little bit laughable that they are making this statement now, as opposed to what rather than just not saying anything at all. They obviously must feel that there is enough out there that has been displayed where that there's the official narrative has been significantly weakened. And I have also reiterated this many times, people, that just because April 1st came around, just because March 1st came around, just because those milestones came around, and we did not publicly get acknowledgement from Cover that the fight would not continue. I reiterated that over and over and over again, that the fight would not stop until the truth actually came out. And some of that stuff that is out there, let me tell you, okay, this channel, for Mikeneko's sake, I'm gonna say this right now, okay? For Mikeneko's sake, this channel stopped engaging in a lot of that narrative because I was more concerned about her mental state and reinforcing the fact that she needed to get her mind in a better place than fighting the fight that is currently happening and what this press release is currently addressing. Okay? That is what is happening right now. What they are trying to, subtly but passively aggressively address here is something that there's a lot of truth out there. There is some that is made up. I can honestly tell you that there is some that is there is quite a bit of conjecture out there. Okay, a lot of it is a lot of the conjecture is based upon the fact that there are so many holes in the official story that this channel we have covered on a consistent basis by covering what Hololive and Cover has officially said, by covering and going through the entire narrative of what Mafu and Kori have said. We have gone through time and time again. We have spent countless hours on this, going through and picking through every single point of contention to show exactly why the official narrative does not compute. And what Cover tries to do in response to that, instead of addressing the actual concerns of the fans, of their sponsors, of the people that give them millions of dollars a year, they tell them in response, that's all slander. Don't listen. They're slandering this company. They're slandering us. That's the buzzword. That's the buzzword that they constantly use. If you notice, the buzzword, the English translation buzzword is slander. It's just like when, as soon as something that that somebody doesn't like, that a streamer doesn't like, the immediate thing that they go to, the first thing they go to, especially on social media, is, oh, this person's trying to cancel me. This is the equivalent of that. Now, sometimes it's true. I'm not discounting every single story out there, okay? But when it comes to actually looking at the story that is being told and doing a deep dive, we have spent, count them, over 20 hours looking at this entire story from every single angle, dissecting every single press release, looking at every single clip. And we can point out every point of contention where the story, the official story, does not make sense. And we bring questions to the forefront. The same questions that Cover is saying is slander against them. What does that say? Okay? All we want is the truth. You know, and by this time, the damage has largely been done. The people have largely taken their side. Okay, the divisions have already been made. People by and large are sitting there and saying, "Oh, it's something about Rushia. It's something about Mikeneko. Oh, it's just the drama queen and her fan base trying to drum up more drama and get back at Cover Core again." No, it's not. It's about making it a better place for people in Hololive and for VTubers to have, and the fans, to have a place that can be enjoyed for years to come, where you don't have a company that is treating their fans, their employees, or their company members in this fashion. How many times do we have to say this? Umberto, welcome. Hey, what's up? The cool T2, welcome. What's up? Beavers, welcome. Beavers, yeah. Right now, Cover is worse than Desi. In some ways, they are. Okay, I'm gonna say something. I want to round my bases really quick. Okay, because I want to clear the air about a few things real quick for some of the, for in case some of those people are here and they're lurking because they are sitting there and they want and they're waiting for this. Okay, number one, I want to address this right away. I want to address this, before like hours go by and then I remember it. Okay, number one. Okay, this channel has always supported Mikeneko. Okay, we have always supported her. We have questioned her motives at times. We have questioned where her mindset has been at times. However, it's with good cause, because right now we were more concerned about where she was in her life and what direction she was heading, which was more important than her making profit. Okay? Now, I was heavily criticized. I was heavily attacked. Okay? I literally I had 6 out of 10 people, 60% of everybody who watched my video about why you should be concerned about Mikeneko absolutely hated it. And that is a fact that I have in statistics. I was attacked by DMs. I was attacked in my comments. I had to turn off my comments for a while. I was attacked by email. I was attacked on Twitter. I was attacked on all sides. I had people trying to cancel me because of that one video about why you should be concerned about her back then. People were attacking me for telling her to go get help. Okay? And let me tell you something. I literally took screenshots of all that crap and I emailed that to her. And I asked her, is this what you want? Is this what you want? Is this what you're going for? Is this what you want your fan base to be going forward? Is this the direction? Is this the right direction? Because if this is the right direction, I'm out. I have been sitting here supporting you. I've been trying my best to make sure that I tell everyone the truth. I am sitting here making sure I'm spitting facts left and right. But if this is the direction that you're going to let your fans go at, where they're attacking each other because we're worried about you, I'm out. The very next, within 2 weeks of that email, okay, within 2 weeks, she finally admitted that she was not going to do another YouTube video until she hit 1 million, okay? Now, many people backed off on that and said, wait, what the hell is going on there? And she kept on streaming on Twitch, on Twitcasting, right? But what a lot of people did not realize was behind the scenes, she had started therapy. She had been going to therapy. She had been constantly going to a therapist. She had been seeing doctors. She had been taking, being put on prescription medication. She had been getting therapy. She had been getting the medical and therapeutic and psychological help that she needed. And she finally tweeted that she was, taking care of herself. And I could have come up on my stream and gloated, because I had access to all this. I could have exposed all of the haters out there and said, you all hated me for this, but yet she's doing exactly what I said she should do. But no, I did not, because her health and her mental state was more important than my pride. That is why I don't talk about her. Because, you know what? She's doing extremely well. She is constantly talking about how she's going to her weekly sessions. She's talking to doctors. She's saying how, you know, when she comes out of her doctor's appointments, that she is feeling well, refreshed, that the doctors are really kind, that, you know, when she goes in, she's able to talk about what's bothering her, and when she comes out, she feels relieved. You know, she is literally saying all the things that she should be saying because she is finally getting help. And she's not sitting there listening to people saying, oh, you shouldn't listen to people giving you advice like that because they're trying to control your life. And I see people leaving. Look at the people leave. I see the viewer count dropping. Because they don't like that. They don't like it. Mikeneko is actually doing better, and they don't want to hear it. Now, in regards to Rushia, now I don't know how Rushia, you know, and the person behind the person that actually voiced Rushia is taking what is being said here. But I do know that the person, that Mikeneko, the person who voiced Rushia, has been working with people behind the scenes and trying her best to get this stuff settled within the legal bounds of what she can do. Some of that does cost money. Some of it does take time. She cannot like actually tell us what is happening on the legal side, because if she leaks out anything regarding, you know, what's happening legally, and then it gets out on the internet and then it spreads around, that could be used in court by cover in response to, you know, them having a defense. So she can't do that, all right? But what I can say is that there is plenty of evidence dating back to, like a lot of people are saying in chat, that goes all the way back to how Coco was treated. There's plenty of evidence. There is a trail of habitual behavior by management within Cover Corps that is complete and utter, like, toxic masculinity, old school behavior on how women are treated. And that is exactly what is happening. Complete and utter dismissal of what is going on with their own talent. Mega Man, welcome. Kiroto, welcome. As far as, Mikeneko, okay, number one, Mikeneko has been insistent on clearing her name regarding her and her relationship with Mafu. Okay, now we have extensively covered that relationship in one of my streams here. I believe it was about a month ago. Welcome. Thank you for showing up. Knight, welcome. We have covered that relationship in one of my past streams, And that relationship dates back at least 10 to 12 years. They have known each other for quite a while. And there was even insinuation 12 years ago that they were dating back then. And some of the screenshots that were floating around were actually screenshots of when those rumors from back then had surfaced, and her apologizing for them just even knowing each other and like talking and hanging out with each other back then. And he responded. He said, "You don't need to apologize. It's people misunderstanding that. Hey, just because you're a girl and I'm a guy, we're hanging out." And if you think about it extremely hard, guys, again, and this is so mind blowing for people who just want to have they just want the drama. But if you stop and you use 2 of your brain cells, if they were dating back then, how in the hell was she dating all these other men in between? Because if she was dating Mafu back then how the hell was she dating these other guys, and then supposedly having these altercations with the police, getting involved in police reports and all this other BS and stuff like that, that Corey was like, "Oh, look at this, I got a scoop, and all that bullshit, and I'm sorry, but, if you buy in and listen to that moron on a daily basis, and you listen to that scumbag, I'm sorry, but it's pathetic. It's pathetic. The fact that people sit there and listen to that crap on a daily basis is pathetic. I cannot honestly believe that people tune in and actually cheer on and support a moron who ruins people's lives and digs up dirt about people who already have their lives in a gutter, and he makes it worse. It's pathetic. And if you throw money at him, it's pathetic. Use your money for something else. That's my rant on him. Okay? But if you think about it, how in the hell is she dating these other guys when she's supposedly going out with Mafu? How? If that relationship was so exclusive, and especially when those those 2 relationships, those 2 people were becoming so prominent, how would he let her? What was he? Did he? I mean, there's no indication that he's into swinging. Okay. So there is no just validation for any of that other stuff. Okay? Now, and the fact that this contract was terminated purely because of, again, this idol mentality. This whole idol mentality. It blows my freaking mind that they have this standard that they can fire this girl, this lady. They can fire her for this mentality, for this attitude, for this position. They can fire her for it, right? And of course, there's also the whole thing where she supposedly leaked, company information. And that's a side point, okay? That's a side point for right now. The fact that she leaked it in order to try to prove that she was not, in fact, dating, okay? The fact that it got to that point. How in the hell can you run a company that is trying to project that they're all idols? but yet when I turn on Hololive, I can literally see that like at least a quarter of them on a daily basis are tiptoeing that line between PG-13 and a little bit, you know. Just a little bit. I mean, they're not doing, you know, the whole 4545, you know, countdown, blast off, you know, that kind of stuff. But, you know, I mean, they, yeah, you know, I mean, there is definitely ways of wordplay that you know is YouTube acceptable, and it's still adult oriented. Okay, so how in the hell are you can you honestly with a straight face say, oh, Hololive is idol idol company, and we uphold standards of the idol mentality. When you have literally, you know, half of your women using every, you know, sexual nuance, you know, to subtly get their listeners to spend as much money as possible. I mean, that's a little exploitive, isn't it? Hey, hell, I throw money at independent VTubers for their talent, not because, you know, they get me, you know, aroused. Well, okay, I take that back. I do throw some because, you know, they are kind of, you know, hey, you know, but that's neither here nor there. Okay, but we won't talk about those because they they're not on topic. Uh-oh. I don't know if it's the real reason Rushia got terminated because she rejected anyone on the board due to sexual harassment. Oh, you know, I've heard that rumor as well. I've heard that there was some sexual harassment allegations in the background. I don't know whether or not that was I don't know if that was like comments that were directed towards her, or if those were actual you know, advances of you know, of higher ups trying to form a relationship with her. I have seen those. We are human. That is all right. Well, you know, hey, hey, just got here. I already know the situation. I think this got me thinking a lot more now that it was allowed to say what she couldn't before. This could prove something about the company. Yes, there is something to be said about Hololive. Okay, and the fact of the matter is, look, there is a lot that is going on with Hololive right now that people are not fully grasping. Okay, and this goes beyond just what is happening with Rushia, but this also, this does have a dramatic effect of what's happening with the company as a whole. Okay, because look, number one, I want you to understand, everyone here to understand something. And my chat box is really pissing me off right now. Come on, come here. I'm gonna put you. Okay, my ear may cover it up, but that at least looks better. Okay, now don't move. Don't move again. I'm gonna fix the rest of you later. Okay. Sorry, I'm just kind of also keeping an eye on the radar too, just to make sure that everything looks like the storms are clearing out. So that's at least a good sign. Yeah. Okay. By the way, Marko, Johnny Depp won against Amber. Yeah, Johnny Depp did win. Yeah, Johnny Depp did win, and Amber was definitely abusing him. Women can abuse men. Just FYI. It's never. It can be the other way around. So look, okay. First, number one, Hololive has at least 2 exclusive contracts with Chinese companies. Okay, they're worth millions of dollars, and those contracts are weighed a heavy consideration into what the company is going to do going forward. That includes that had some ramifications on what was going on with Rushia's situation. Now, I don't know all of the details that were involved with it. I would have to go back through my notes to refresh my memory on it. However, I do know that there were some non-related, non-exclusively related conditions that had affected some of the decisions that were made regarding Rushia and these contracts. All right. Now, number 2, it regards the whole Holoverse and everything else. Now, I'm sure most of you, if not all of you, have seen the video that Hololive put out here recently regarding the whole Hololive alternative and everything else that they put out on their YouTube channel, right? It looked like there was it looked like an MMO type of game and all that other stuff that was put out. They basically they did a showcase on Hollow Earth TV. They showed the Hololive alternative, and all this other stuff. Okay, now originally there were I believe 3 different projects that were started that were created. One of them was a virtual reality project that was created exclusively for the condition of being able to have virtual reality concerts where people could dial in using their own virtual reality headset in order to see a live concert in 3D. Okay, that was announced, and Yago actually talked about it in detail in a LinkedIn kind of like interview type of thing. on his LinkedIn page, which I stumbled upon, and he and his board invested millions into it. Okay, so that's one. Number two was the entire the Hololive Alternative Project. The Hololive Alternative Project was meant to to create the alternate reality of the universe that involved all the characters, right? And we had the manga and the lore build up and all that other stuff. The third project that was made, and it was not widely talked about at the time, was in fact the Hollow Earth project, where the company itself was exploring the option of having that open sandbox type of environment. Now, the open sandbox environment was meant to allow people to venture in a world that was kind of like a cross between like Animal Crossing meets like Stardew Valley meets Rune Factory 6 type thing, where you could build your own stuff, you could do your own thing, but yet you could also go and do dungeon raiding and all that other stuff, right? But they also wanted to allow people to make your own custom avatar. Now, you take all three of those projects combined, all right, and those three projects combined cost millions in development cost. I'm talking millions, okay? Just trying to develop your 3D virtual reality stuff. That's a multi-million-dollar project right there, especially if you are trying to develop something akin to like an entire to be able to have an entire setup so you can do actual concerts live in it, live streaming. Okay, not just in game form, not just like you're delivering in game form. You're doing a live concert through the internet. You have to have a backbone for it. You have to have the servers for it. You have to have the infrastructure for it, and you have to have the software developed for it. That's a multi-million-dollar project right there. Okay. Number two, if you're trying to develop a 24/7 open sandbox game that is that it's a live service where people can log into and constantly play, that again, I mean, if you gotta license out an engine for it, you have to have the infrastructure for it, you have to be able to build the world for it, you have to have the stability for it. You're talking, I mean, with a fan base this big, you're talking like at least several millions of people trying to log in and play it. If you're doing it free to play, if you're not doing it free to play, if you're doing it free to play, then you have to develop the whole loot box or whatever service for it. I mean, there is so much involved on that, right? So you literally, Hololive has sunk millions of dollars into all this stuff, which means that they have tons of investors that have to be invested into this. And some of those investments somehow, some way had influence regarding what happened to Rushia. I don't have names, okay? I do not have names, but my sources have shown me, and even Rushia or Mikeneko has alluded to the fact that certain powers within that were influential to Hololive were the cause of why this happened. And I believe that is ultimately why she is fighting not to get back in the Hololive. Why she felt like, why she felt like, this was totally wrong. She was wrong. She was completely out, she had absolutely no control over it, et cetera, et cetera. And why, she wants to prove, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that, hey, if nothing else, I want to prove once and for all that, look, she wants to prove that she's not a whore. And that's what everyone's making her out to be. Everyone's making her out to be a whore. Especially people that listen to the sound bites of Corey. Oh, she was with this guy. She was with that guy. She, within the last, 5-6 years, while she was a VTuber, she has been with at least, 4 or 5 guys while taking your money. That's what they're trying to make. They're trying to make her out to be a whore. She's trying to prove that. I don't buy it. She's a very pretty girl. But not every pretty girl is a whore. I'm sorry. Now, does she get a lot of money from guys? Yeah, she does get a lot of money from guys. But hey, I mean, I hate to admit it, but if a pretty girl like her walked up to me, I mean, I would probably be more inclined to if we were talking and hanging out and she charmed me a little bit, and say, hey, you want, do you think we could go out for lunch or something like that? Hey, you know what? I wouldn't mind dropping $50, $100 to take her out and impress her with a nice lunch. I mean, especially if I really wanted to impress her. Because I mean, that's what guys do. We're stupid, but but that's that's kind of our mentality too. Corey is sus. Some contracts are worth billions, yes. Yago might be a good man, but whoever is at cover running things is sus. Agreeable, yes. Well, Wanda is really quite the villain, Doctor Strange. Yeah, I haven't seen all of that, but yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah, Corey is untouchable. He's a scumbag, but he's a bottom feeder. But unfortunately, he's also an attack dog. Also, I'm curious about the remaining contractual obligations Mikeneko is talking about. I know that she had done some work on some contractual obligations that she had, but she was waiting for responses back, and she was getting pretty frustrated because she hadn't heard responses back from some of them. But I don't recall her making any more intricate details on that. Cover does have plenty of lawyers, yes. Beavers, I will watch. I kind of grew out of the Buzz Lightyear whole Toy Story phase. Does anyone know Rushia or Mikeneko? Does anyone know her actual face? Like, what do you mean? Like, do we know what she actually looks like? Like her real face or what? It's something to do with watch. Saber Sparks is okay. Wait. Wait a minute. Poor Rushia. I wonder if the aunties like that stuff too. It's something to do. It's something to watch. Saber Sparks was okay with it. Ah. Yeah, no LGBT controversy. Oh yeah, Mikeneko has a picture in her Twitter. Yeah, Mikeneko is boing boing. She is quite boing boing. I've seen quite a few pictures of her. She also has an Instagram of her over the past couple years, and she is very attractive. In fact, um, yeah, she's quite a head turner. Let's put it that way. Um, Not Python by any stretch. I yeah. The fact of the matter is, and it's also something that is quite worrisome too. But I also feel that she is probably trying to. I think she's also trying to like really limit her exposure right now too. And guys, I want you guys to remember this, especially for going, moving forward, is, she is I believe she's in a good spot right now where she's talking positive. She's, at least, not confrontational on her social, her publicly social account for her main identity as Mikeneko. She's not attacking people on it. At least on her personal account, she's not attacking people on her personal accounts. She is. I mean, I haven't been monitoring her the channels that I normally monitor, or had been monitoring back in February and through April, nearly as much, because quite frankly, I covering her story as a whole really had a severe mental and physical health effect on me as a person, because it was just mentally and physically stressing on me. The more I dove into what was going on, the more there's a lot of bad going on in cover. Okay, I'm gonna be straight with you. If everything I have found and read and things that I have like backtrailed is if even 70% of it is true, there's a lot of stuff that needs to change. Okay. And it again, it goes back to culture, guys. It goes back to culture. It's got to change at some point if it's to survive. I mean, we see it now, but cover doesn't acknowledge it. Okay? And that's the problem. We have a duality of cultures that is in flux right now, where you have the management and board of directors and investors who are still old school, who are thinking 1980s and 90 idols versus modern age where it's not like that anymore. And it can't be like that anymore. If the quote idolism is going to survive, it's got to change. It can't stay the same because that's how it's stagnated. It can't. It just can't. I mean, look. I mean, yeah. AKB and all that stuff is still popular, but it's not nearly as popular as it used to be. Why? Because the idol, the whole idol culture and the whole idol industry is so oversaturated with groups and organizations and agencies and people trying to make it. They can't make it. You can't make it in that industry anymore. That's why so many of them went into VTubers and they became successful as VTubers. I mean, that was the only way that they could succeed. It wasn't exactly them anymore, but it was still them in voice. But you can't that even now you have tens of thousands of VTubers out there, and you can't be you can't just be a VTuber and make it. I mean, it's not uncommon anymore. It's common. You have to have a hook. Guys just hate the board members of Cover, not the CEO. you know, I have mixed feelings about Yago. I'm not going to get into them in this stream. But because I have I okay, so for short segue, not complete segue, but short segue. For my channel, I as some of you know, I have upcoming surgery that is coming up. So I've been trying to work on some content ahead of time so I can have some stuff to post, and at least in the event that I can't stream for a couple weeks while I'm recovering. And some of that content does include, some shorts, basically regarding myself and the channel as a whole, and some of the questions that have been asked to me over the past several months. And one of the questions is, what exactly is my beef with Yago? Because a lot of people have, especially on Twitter, have noticed that I have a beef with Yago. All right. I'm not going to go into the entire conversation or explanation for it right now. But let me just say that, yes, even though he is not required to respond to things like this, the fact that he was completely silent when it came to one of the pillars that helped him make the company successful, and said absolutely nothing and did absolutely nothing, really pissed me off. Because at least if he would have said something, you know, I mean, he could have at least, apologized to the fans and said, I'm sorry that everyone had to be dragged into this and this couldn't be handled quietly. I mean, is that too much to ask? That's just me. I'm not saying that he is a bad person. I'm not saying that he is wrong. I'm not saying that he is somebody that you should hate. But I do disagree with several of the decisions that he and his company have made. That's all I gotta say about it for right now. I'll explain more later. And I apologize if that makes people mad. That's the way I feel about Yago right now. That's the best way I can explain it. He is quick to celebrate people when they make success for his company. But he is extremely slow to, if not silent, to apologize to the people that put money into his company that aren't investors, namely the customers, when something bad happens. And PR and public relations and all of them, they do have, that is part of their job. But as a public figure, and as somebody that we as people that have come to actually acknowledge as somebody who is approachable within that power structure of Hololive, you would at least think that he would, say something to, alleviate some of the pain that the fans feel. But again, that's just me. Let's see this back reading. Marko, will Rushia return or not? No, Rushia will not return. Rushia is, I believe Rushia is gone. I did notice, and it was something that I pointed out in April, that when I was doing a little bit of exploring, that at least back in April, all of her videos were not in fact deleted off her channel, but they were privatized by the people that run her channel now. I don't know if that's still the case or not, or if they eventually wiped them after backing them up or something. But I did note that the error message codes that came back were different than if the videos were just completely wiped off off of YouTube. So I mean, her channel still existed back then, as far as as far as I could tell. But by and large, the videos were just privatized. So I mean, they obviously at least cared enough about her content to to hold on to it for a small amount of time. Whether or not that's still the case now, I haven't checked, in several weeks. So, um, but even if it was just, for archival reasons and that they were just holding on to it so they could archive it themselves, that might have been the case, but I'm not entirely sure. Let's see here. Yeah, and the other thing that really gets me right now is the fact that it's weird how Hololive apparently has been treating the development of things for their their development process, because it just boggles my mind that they have they were able to get 3D modeling done for HoloX, who've been around for what, 6 months now. They've been in existence for 6 months, maybe. Yeah, something like that. They already have 3D models that they're debuting, and it took Halloween over 2 years. I don't get it. Why? Huh? Okay. I mean, how are these newer generations like getting all this yeah, I mean, how are these newer generations getting new costumes, new 3D models, and they're getting all this new stuff within like half the time span, if not quicker than the older generations that have been around. And the older generations are still sitting around and old stuff, and they're just sitting there just like twiddling their thumbs like, okay, well, I guess we'll still wear our same idol outfit from 4 years ago or 3 years ago or whatever. I mean, like, what? Huh? I mean, I don't get it. I mean, how is that? How does that work? How? Is it because like they like saw like the revenue bump that they got from HoloX and said, oh, we're gonna put our money in here? Or was it like they got a huge revenue bump from investors, so like hey, what, we got a $50 million investment from this company, so we're gonna deploy HoloX with this money, and we're gonna have the development for this fund, for them. We're not just gonna make their debut models, but we're gonna make sure that they have their 3D models already within 6 months. Or I mean, how does this work? Yeah, exactly. As long as they can do concerts, that's what 3D for actually. And that's true, but I mean, like, okay, Callie's model, I'm okay with. I think it's fine. I mean, it's Callie, it's fine. I mean, Reaper, she looks like the Reaper. She can do the things that that I think she can do the things that she wants to do as as Callie. That's fine. But it I don't know if it's just me or not, or maybe it was just like the quality of the stream when I watched them like perform, or even afterwards, or maybe it was just the artist or the detail or what. But the models just feel dated. Maybe I don't know. It just they don't look. How can I say it? So do forgive me when I leave. I won't be here till next year. Oh, if you gotta leave, yeah, please go for it. I appreciate you being here. Thank you for stopping by. Really, thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it. Yeah, yeah. Um, even when like okay, like when Rushia and her generation got her models, they still had a lot of problems with clothes clipping, with um, you know um, body parts clipping and stuff like that. Um, which was obvious, with the technology and how they were using it and stuff like that. But as things progressed, things did eventually get better with how the models interacted, and they were able to do their movements and everything. Um, but the level of quality, did seem to somewhat lag behind a bit, and they did not. It wasn't bad, but I don't want to give the wrong impression. I mean, it did not look generic by any stretch of the means. Uh, but that said, the 2D their 2D counterparts still looked drastically better than their 3Ds in many aspects. Um, and even now, where when you know watch some of the concerts, you can kind of tell the difference between generations. That not all of them were of course made at the same time, and they were not made in the same way, in the same template, and some of them even have variations that give them more lifelike features. All right, now when you compare that to what Hollow Myth got, their in many aspects, that their ability to move around stage was drastically enhanced compared to say like the older generations, where they felt a little bit more stiff. But the quality of the actual artwork in their costumes and their look, and in some aspects even the details of their faces and the designs and everything else, it still felt and looked like it was probably like a year or two old, that was sat upon and then finally finished. Like it was a couple versions behind what was put out later on. I don't know if that makes sense. Yeah, that's why Sora and Miko got a rework. Yeah, take care. Thank you for stopping in. Oh yeah, Iris. She was originally, I mean, I, Iris. when Iris started, she's like, well, I'm not gonna be a full-time streamer. I'm not gonna be a full-time gamer. I'm gonna be doing songs all the time. I'm a singer. I'm a V singer. I'm not a streamer. I'm not an actual VTuber. What's she doing now? She's like, oh, I can't wait to play games with Bae. Oh, my honey, my honey. Oh, I loved seeing them together. Oh, they're so cute. Bae and Iris, they're so cute together. I love him. Okay, sorry. I had to get that out of my chest. But yeah. Let's see. Yeah, Sora looks so much better with her rework. Miko looks great with her rework. Azuki, she got a rework and she looks great as well. They subtly touched up Flare, and Flare's touch up, it looks great. I am so happy for Flare after her touch up that I couldn't be happier with her because she has such a great voice, and I feel so bad that people like dunk on her for being like, people dunked on her because of her model, and then people dunked on her because they call her a generic, they call her just a generic type, a generic. How did they phrase it? They call her a generic idol that doesn't stand out. That's what they call her. At least that from like a lot of Japanese message boards I read. That's they dunk on her for that, and it's like, yo, she has a great voice. Don't dunk on her for, just because she's good at singing. Just because she don't entertain you any other way doesn't mean that you gotta dunk on her. I mean, come on, But I haven't seen Picoras, but I take that back. I did see Picoras. Yeah. I did see hers. But yeah, I just feel that I just feel that if there's any two things that or two companies that will take that will surpass Hololive at this point, I believe that I think Vizojo is definitely taking some great strides with their technology and utilization, and the fact that they can they can utilize VTube Studio with a lot of their stuff, and it works seamless, and the quality that they can dump into their thing, into what they're doing, and still have like they're still going strong and being able to expand, and they're not spending all this money on things that who knows whether or not the investments are going to be like worth it. Some of these projects that Hololive is working on, they're like the time frames that they're talking about, to me, seem very too optimistic. Especially like if they're talking open or closed alphas and betas within the next year for that that sandbox game. It's like, if this game has only been in development for like a year or two, you're talking extreme bare bones. If you're talking like alpha and closed beta, there is no way in hell that you're gonna be able to get a game out. And I mean, a typical game cycle is like 4 years minimum. Yeah, sorry, I need to read a little bit. Yeah, they called Calvin, they called Flare a generic idol. Sora is definitely different. Sora is like the epitome of idolism. I mean, I've watched her like live, do live shows, and then like live streams, and then on her channel, and the way she's able like to conduct herself and control her chat and conversations with people, to where she can completely and utterly duck any like unsay so conversation, is just brilliant. I'm like, dang, girl. I mean, who taught you how to talk? But yeah, Niji-san, I always mispronounce their name. Niji-san, yeah, them. Niji. Niji is doing very good. Niji is doing very good. Vizojo is doing very good. I know several other smaller groups are like making some big strides. Hell, there was not Prison Project, Kawaii Productions. Kawaii Productions just finished off was it Kickstarter? I think it was Kickstarter. It was Kickstarter or Patreon, one of the two. That was, and they raised like like $1 million, 1.5, something like that, $1 million. They raised like, they raised a lot of money to get their, was it Gen 1? I think it was Gen 1. Their first 5. See, it was originally Kawaii 5, and then one of them graduated, so that put them down to 4. But there was like 6 of them. They're developing 3D models for 6 of them. So you got them that are coming up. And so they obviously must be doing well if they're able to raise that type of money, and them just being a small production group, and I don't think that they have, I don't think any of their, and I'm not sure about their Gen 2, but maybe I haven't checked on them in a long time, but I mean, they, I know that none of them have like 1 million subscribers, but I don't know if any of them have. Gen 2 of Kawaii already have 3 members. Oh, really? Oh, wow. Ouch. That's gotta hurt. Do any of them have over 100,000 members yet? I don't think any of them have 100,000 yet. I think like I know some of them have over 50. Some of them had cracked like 20, 30. I don't know how who has the highest sub count, but I mean they're doing pretty well. Especially that now that they seem to have a steady fan group. Man, I don't know where Omega Alpha went. She just like disappeared off the top. Like, I mean, she was never gonna be a fixture of attention to begin with. So for them to quote unquote debut her, I don't know what that was all about, especially when she came out later and said, I'm not gonna be streaming." It's like, oh, what was the point of giving her a picture and a face and a presence and a backstory and all this other stuff then? What was the whole point? It was like, you guys don't know what you're doing. I mean, who's writing the lore? Oh yeah, the angel. Of course, boing, the boing boing of Kawaii that blesses everybody. Of course, she would have 100,000. I think Omega Alpha is Yaga too, personally, but that's just me. But yeah, Pina's doing very well. I'm happy for Pina. I love Pina to death. She's doing very well. I'm happy that she is hitting her year, and I really hope that she does well. She's a great singer, and I hope I'm glad that she is so as say so as she is. She and I honestly, are if you are a streamer of any sort, I it's important to remember to know what to keep and what not to keep out of the public eye, and whether it's intentionally or not intentionally. I mean that's why I always tell people and warn people that if you're gonna stream in any capacity, you know, um, you got to make sure that if you do any personalized communication on your computer, that you have those things shut down or shut off, before you stream. You cannot do or have those things on. You gotta have that mental note, or even a sticky note, on your computer, or it's somewhere where you look at it before you start streaming and say, put it on your mic, and before you turn on your mic or you pull your mic in front of you, that sticky note's right there, or that note is hanging right there. Turn off all communication, before you start. Because if I mean, that's the one thing that can get you is exposing that thing, and that's and that's what got Rushia in the end, was the fact that one thing popped up. I mean, luckily for me, I mean, the most if not all of my communication I do with other people is done, in public, where, I mean, I talk to, like, most of the other VTubers, through Twitter, on, through tweets and stuff like that. But other than that, it's like, I don't talk to, most of it, or if not anybody, except for, very rare occasions, like if I'm trying to, set up a communication effort between like myself and, say like, Ankaro, or, I'm trying to figure something out with Ocean. Um, then I'll send them a private message. But even then, it's extremely short, because I just try to stick to, something that is related to the topic, and then that's it. You know, because I don't want it to be a big deal. If it's just about, like, like when I was talking to them about, simul streaming their Splatoon collaboration. That's all it was. I asked them for permission, told them what I was going to do, and when they gave me the okay, I thanked them. That was it. That was the only communication I gave them. You know, um, same thing with like Pina. Pina, I don't even try to communicate with her privately, because I know that it's being monitored by by Prison Project. I mean, there's no point. I mean, I might as well do it publicly, because it's going to be seen by people anyways. So she's going to respond in one way or the other. So um I think the only person I've ever like privately, like, actually communicated with was Mikeneko. And even then, she doesn't always reply privately, but she does publicly respond in one way or the other, especially when it comes to like serious things that people point out. And as you've seen, as many people have seen, people will send her a private message or a direct message or an email, and she'll respond on Twitter and say, I can't send you a direct response or a DM, but this is what I'm going to do, or this is what, if you could refer to this, tweet or something like that, in response, to let me know you've seen it, or something like that. There's a lot of ways that she does communicate back to let people know that she has received that message and that she's responding to it. You know, um, I want everybody to know that um, there is a lot of things that VTubers do that are very nuanced and very subtle, but there are ways that people, the casual person, will always tell you, "Oh, you're reading too much into it," but it's actually not true, because in reality, it's the only way that a VTuber, especially a girl VTuber, can respond when you're trying to tell them something important or something from the heart or something private or something meaningful to them. Is that if they gotta publicly do it, they gotta publicly say it, because they can't privately say it, because if it gets out that they privately say something to a fan, it becomes a situation like Rushia's. And then you start having those situations where, oh, they're sending private messages. Oh, look what they're doing. Oh, look at, they're luring them on and all this other stuff. But they will, in actuality, will try to extremely subtly respond to what you have said, especially if it has impacted them or actually, if it actually means something to them in return, and they know that if they say something publicly that you're likely going to read it. You know, now I'm not saying that everything I have said or emailed or like tweeted or DM'd to Mikeneko she has replied to. Okay, I'm not saying that at all. Don't get me wrong. I'm not that narcissist that I'm not that conceited. I can't say that word. That's a big word. I can't say a big word. But I'm not that conceited. But I will say that she does reply to her fans, even if she doesn't do it to, personally, even if she doesn't say call you by name. If there's one nitpick that I would have, okay, and this is an extremely big nitpick that is completely, and this is different than like calling her out or ragging on her or like, being mean to her, or anything like that. And it's a difference between from at least what I've noticed, it's a difference between what I've seen with VTubers that are like from Japan versus English VTubers. And it majorly has to do with the fact that you see more English VTubers take the time and effort to read through, everyone, at least do a name call in recognition of everyone who does a $5, super chat and above, versus when you see like, Japanese VTubers, at least in Hololive, from what I've seen, that they will only acknowledge like if you do like 50 or above, and sometimes they don't even acknowledge all the $100, super chats. They only acknowledge some of them, which I thought was very weird. And it's like, if someone's gonna drop a $100 on me, I would at least say something back to them. But even then, I've seen like, a lot of them they'll only acknowledge some of those $100 people. But I mean, there are some that spend hours talking, in super chat streams. They'll spend hours just doing that, and that's their entire super chat stream. Their entire stream is super chat reading. That's the entire content, and people still tune in for it. I mean, it's actually kind of brilliant if you think about it, where you can stream for 5 hours and just do nothing but read super chats and talk. I mean, that's actually kind of brilliant. You don't have to make up content for that. You just got to read it and respond to it. I mean, that's really brilliant. Now, and again, that's that's not everyone. That's not a blanket statement. It's an observation that, at least from what I've seen with like Hololive members, that get high volumes like that. That's what I've noticed. Now, I will say that people like Roboco, like Mel, streamers like them, if they get $5, $10 super chats, you know, more often than not, and for them, it kind of depends on what game they're playing too. But more often than not, they'll acknowledge them, unless it's like a flood of them all at the same time. They'll acknowledge them as they come in. I mean, there have been times where like Roboco is playing a game and she has a pawn moment where she like kills herself by accident or something like that. And her whole thing was she has this whole OMG thing that she has, and she has a sticker for it. For, if you're a member. So a lot of times when she has one of those moments where she like messes up like that, I'll drop her like a $5 super chat with that sticker in there, and I'll type in OMG, and put that sticker in there, and she'll laugh at it. So or like if she falls and dies, she has that clip of Sora where like her phone falls and then like her model falls at the same time, and it looks like she's like banging her head against the desk. Like, and Roboco had a similar thing happen to her, where like her phone did the same thing. So she made a sticker, and she has that in her membership deal there for members. And so every time she falls and dies, that sticker's always spammed in chat, so I'll spam that in chat and then type, "Oh my God," and then put the other sticker in there, that type of thing. But, I'm kind of like wandering there, but, yeah, unless they turn the super chats off, which, like, Maury finally got smart and started doing that, because people were like spamming super chats to like keep her talking because they didn't want her to leave. So she was starting to realize, hey, this is turning into like a 12-hour super chat reading stream. So she like made sure to turn them off at the beginning of the streams, But I mean that would be like my one nitpick of Mikeneko, because she always tells people that, like, I love my fans, I love my American fans, I love my English fans, I love my fans, that kind of thing. But the perception again kind of falls back to um and I think she's actually doing better with it now that other people have pointed it out as well. Because let me see if I can pull it up real quick. There was a tweet that went out that she put out recently, and it may have like actually been aimed at something different, but she there was a tweet that she did like a day or two ago regarding her fan box, and I had sent her an email a while ago asking her about her content, and I told her, I said, there's a lot of questions about what you're doing with this, I mean, because you haven't updated any of it, in a while. What's going on with it? What are your plans? I mean, you need to talk to your fans about what you're doing here, so we know what's going on, because this is how rumors start, and I think she finally started to understand what was going on with the whole fan box thing, and she has at least done some updating in her fan box recently, so which is good. I'm happy to see that. Yeah, she said something about that she got a message. Um, she got a message in Fanbox. I spelled it with a lawyer, with the help of a lawyer who would like to tell everyone that I couldn't talk. Alvin, did you happen to read um the the letter that Mikeneko posted on Twitter here earlier? I'm just kind of curious. I mean, I can go through that as well while I'm looking at it. Thank God that it stopped thundering outside, and I haven't seen any lightning in a while. By the way, yeah, I have seen that um, game that's on IO. So here's the letter that Mikeneko put up on her Twitter. Um, and this letter here is from Mikeneko, and she says that she wrote this with the help of her lawyer, um, who would like to, and she wrote this to all of her supporters, that the people that supported her while she couldn't talk. Yeah, this is the letter that was on Twitter. And basically, let's just cover it while since I'm scrolling through it anyways, and then I'm streaming about her right now. To all the supporters who who I've caused trouble to, I apologize for the delay of getting back to you. I'm sorry for the delay in talking to all of you. I've inconvenienced. I've been in discussions about what kind of statement to make and in what format to make it. My silence during this time has led to a lot of speculation, which has in turn led to a lot of slander. I would like to begin by telling you what I'd like to correct. I would like to correct the most important thing I said to the members. I don't want you to be unhappy. I want to make you all happy. First of all, I sent this message on November 14th, 2021, not February 11th, 2022. It was sent on November. When this message was publicized, the way it was publicized suggested that the message was about the company. When the message was released to the public, the way it was published led to many to believe that it was sent after the incident. In fact, nothing was actually sent. In fact, there was nothing at all. And by all, we do not mean... that translation doesn't quite work out. It's been very difficult for me to let the days go by without being able to correct this, and I know that it's been hurt by many of you. I know it hurt many of you. I still think highly of my members. I still care, or fans. I should say. I still care about my fans. I still this must be her gen mates. Okay. Her colleagues. Okay. Colleagues. That's what that word means. Okay. I still think highly of my colleagues, or her gen mates. I still care about them. I still watch their feeds. I still love her generation. And she hasn't lost her love and her bond with her favorite gen mates. It's kind of sad in a way. I don't know if she has actually sued them. Let me pull up this next one here. Hang on. See, that's the next one. Oops, wait a minute. That's the wrong one. Okay, so back. That's page 1. Okay. Page 2. There we go. Okay. And alright, OBS is being a little slow. Come on, change. There we go. Any attempts to reassure or hold a grudge are all lies. It may be unforgivable to say such things while causing trouble. I consider all my gen mates important colleagues. This is what I've always wanted to correct. I have always wanted to correct this. And I'm sorry for the sadness I caused by not doing so. And I think this might also refer to Hololive as a whole when she says members, because the word that she uses here can be members. It could be team members, colleagues, associates, friends, co-workers, group members. And she has like used it interchangeably, depending on the sentence. So I think in certain cases she's used it as genmates, and then in certain cases like this last sentence, um, or this last paragraph here, I think she's also using it as like Hololive as a whole, like the entire Hololive group. And this may specifically have to do with the insinuations that there was a lot of heat between her and Natsuri. Yeah. Um, Regarding like that, like they had a falling out, and there was some accusatory words that were said back and forth, um especially like with the whole cabaret thing and stuff like that. I apologize to everyone that I've caused grief by not correcting this. I'm sorry. I have made progress in our discussions with the company, and we are pleased to finally be able to make corrections. I have asked the company to issue a statement of correction and name in the name of the association. Ooh. Oh. Oh, I didn't read this part. Oh. Oh. Oh ho ho. Oh. No, 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 no. No. Wait. No, 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 no. Wow. Okay. This changes everything. I did I didn't read, so I saw her issue like these letters, or this letter, and I read the first page, but I didn't read the rest. Oh my god. So this next page changes everything. So this next paragraph is what Cover issued their statement about. This changes everything. So Mikeneko in this statement says, quote, I apologize to everyone who I have caused grief by not correcting this. I'm sorry. We have made progress in our discussions with the company, and we are pleased to finally be able to make corrections. We have asked the company, which is Cover, to issue a statement of correction in the name of the association, and we have found that at least a portion of the association's public statement that refers to, quote, false declarations of relevant parties is clearly erroneous. I am in clear, they are in clear error of at least part of, quote, false declarations of relevant parties, unquote, in the party's public statement. I have sent one person a message about a line exchange I had with a manager. It is a fact that I sent one person a message about a line communication with my manager. I sent it to one person because I had no choice but to stop the conversation. I had no choice but to send it to one person in order to ask him to stop talking. However, I have never divulged any other information or made any false declaration. I have never made any false declaration. The content of the information I sent was never confidential information related to management or business of the company, nor did it contain any information about my affiliation. Mikeneko, why did you put this on page 1, girl? Okay. The content of the information submitted do not constitute confidential information relating to related to management or business of the company, nor do it relate to any of its affiliated members. The content of the company's public statement is the company's public statements indicate that I did something more significant than I actually did. This led to a lot of slander. Therefore, the company was forced to write a statement to protect the company. We have therefore asked the company to correct the statement. Finally, the company Finally, we concluded that the company would not issue a statement of correction in our name, so we could not ask him to do so. However, we were able to discuss the matter with Mikato Yago until the very end, and for that I'm grateful. The company and I would like to make a joint statement if we could have. However, they would not cooperate to that extent, so I am submitting this statement on my own. You slanderous son of a bitch! Cover! Are you fucking kidding me? Is this what you really Is this what it's really all about? Oh my god. Are you really even saving face at this point, Cover? Are you really saving face? When you have over half of YouTube that have half a brain that can go out and use public resources to prove you wrong. And everybody can see it. You still go out and you spill nonsense. kidding me? I mean, come on. Is it so? I mean, is it really, is it really so wrong to admit air? You know, hollow air? She can't, you can't take this back. She can't take this back. If mistakes were made and you know that it can't be reconcilable, but mistakes were still made, man up, admits that mistakes were made. If she ain't asking for money and all she's asking is for her name to be cleared, clear her fucking name. And then let her move on. Because that's what you want anyways, right? I mean, is it really that hard? Is it really that hard to bow your head and say, Gomenasai? I screwed up. It's not that hard. All right, page 3. The company is still discussing some matters with us, but the relationship is not in great shape. We are still discussing some issues. We are proceeding. We are still proceeding with some remaining contractual matters, which is what you were alluding to earlier. I'm not entirely sure what those. I know that she mentioned that there was like some things that were like given to her to do, and then she returned those back, and she was still waiting, and they were like at only like 10-20% completed, and she had like never heard anything back. So who knows whether or not, you know, there's like a time frame on when those contractual matters can be voided or not. Who knows? I'm sure that would have to be a lawyer thing. I have received a great deal of slander and defamation to date. I am I'm not entirely responsible for the amount of slander that has been directed towards me. That's true. You know, I mean, you're not responsible for other people's behavior. And you know, her next her next sentence does address that. You know, she's not entirely responsible for this, but she is responsible for her own impulsive behavior, which is true. I'm not saying that I'm not responsible. I'm not saying I'm not saying that I'm irresponsible. I'm not saying that I'm not responsible. I'm saying that I am. She repeats it twice. Why did she repeat it twice? I'm not entirely. Basically, she's saying that she is not irresponsible. She's not trying to be irresponsible, but she's not entirely responsible. That's basically what she's trying to say with this sentence here. Also, I feel that there is something wrong with the world where slander is so abundant, which is true. It's not just me. There are many people who suffer from it, and she's not alone. That's true. A world that sees the future and offers help to those who have failed would be much better than one that continuously points out past achievements and failures, which is, I could agree with that. It's good to remember, and acknowledge your past achievements and failures. It's good to acknowledge them so you can grow from them. However, it's not good to only say that, my only successes are in the past and I can never have success in the future. Nor is it good for people to always, like, hang your failures over you, or for you to constantly hang your own failures over yourself. uh you know um as far as, like, saying that you can't succeed. So that in itself is true. I believe that a world that sees the future and helps people in their failures is much better than a world that continuously points out past achievements and failures, which is true. Uh, I too will keep my beloved green necromancer in my heart and mind. I will keep my mind focused on my beloved necromancer, and will do my best to move forward from now on. To my fans, to those who have supported me from behind the scenes, and to everyone who have been inconvenienced, I would like to say thank you, even if it's just a little. I will work hard so I can repay you, even if it's just a little. Thank you for your time for reading this long article. So that's that. So, yeah. Yeah. Oh, so we have cover. Yeah. Oops. Let me close that. So I can say that I can say that with a certain degree of certainty that what she said matches up with what I presented you, and what she outlined in her letter here matches what I presented you, as opposed to what cover has stated, which is very generalized and has not produced any specific information, nor have they presented anything in their case um, to the audience itself, that we have enough evidence right now to state that the statements that are being made, combined with the evidence that is currently out there, support Mikeneko's claim that Hololive and cover are in the wrong. Now, that does not mean that Hololive should hire her back. Okay, that does not mean that, like I said before, things have already been said, done. And from what it sounds like, everything is, not reconcilable at this point. So, but at least in our minds and in the minds of people out there, the right people know the truth. Okay? Now, Cover can deny it as much as they want. However, the truth is still the truth. And there is a case here to be made that the people that support Mikeneko are right to still support her. And that she does deserve the support that she's getting because she has been wronged. Now, whether or not she can get reparations for this, reparations for being wrongfully terminated and all that other stuff, that depends. I've actually read a little bit about this because certain laws have been changed recently in Japan that affected a lot of different people, and some people got wrongfully their contracts wrongfully terminated. So who the hell is calling me at 2 o'clock in the morning? Or 1 o'clock. Guys, I gotta be right back, okay? I gotta take this call.
Searching for greatness in a sea of the dying and shameless, a sea of the aimless. I don't wanna be one of the nameless. I'ma wake up with the mindset that one day I'm gonna make it, and I don't think I'll be fine if I don't break my limitations. Don't try to stop me, I exist to write my own story. I'll make a decision if I want some peace or if I want the glory. Yeah, don't want a life that is complacent or possibly boring. I just want a life that is worth every day exploring. My whole life I just wanted someone who would notice me. My whole life I just wanted to be somebody to be. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, 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 I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, 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 yeah. This is a statement to appreciate all that is vacant. It's just for the taking. If you make up your mind, you can take it. I'm never complacent. I would work in a mansion or basement, yeah. There's no replacement for persistence, it's a patience, yeah. In this life, I wanna be soaring, to feel sun inside when it's pouring, and I'll fight till anxiety is foreign. I'm so sick of my mind's extortion. My whole life I just wanted someone who would notice me. My whole life I just wanted to be somebody to be. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, 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 I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Searching for greatness in a sea of the dying and shameless. A sea of the aimless. I don't wanna be one of the nameless. I'ma wake up with the mindset that one day I'm gonna make it. And I don't think I'll be fine if I don't break my limitations. Don't try to stop me, I exist to write my own story. I'll make a decision if I want some peace or if I want the glory. Yeah, don't want a life that is complacent or possibly boring. I just want a life that is worth every day exploring.
My whole life I just wanted someone who would notice me. My whole life I just wanted to be somebody to be. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, yeah,
This is a statement to appreciate all that is vacant. It's just for the taking. If you make up your mind, you can take it. I'm never complacent. I would work in a mansion or basement. Yeah, there's no replacement for persistence. It's a patience. Yeah, in this life, I wanna be soaring, to feel sun inside when it's pouring, and I'll fight till anxiety is foreign. I'm so sick of.
All right, sorry about that. You ever have one of those friends that call you and they're like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And it's like, "Dude, it's 1 o'clock in the morning." "Yeah, I was driving by and I saw your light on. What are you doing?" I'm like, "On the computer." "Oh yeah, I was just drinking." I'm like, wait a minute, you were drinking and you were driving? You're outside my place? "Oh yeah. So what are you doing?" I'm like, "Dude, get out of your car." Like, where are we going? "You're going into an Uber and you're going home, and I'll come get you tomorrow, and then you can come get your car." I'm like, "And don't call me at 1 o'clock in the morning." Sorry about that. So anyways, yeah, so back to this. Yeah, so I was talking to, I wasn't talking, I was actually, well, I had, yeah, that friend that shows up and wants money or is drunk. Yeah, exactly. It used to be cousins, but those cousins are now in prison, so they don't do that anymore. But that's a different story. So yeah, so okay, so small segue again. I know a few. I know a few streamers that I want to make sure I handle this delicately. So I know a few streamers that work that they do R18 stuff. Okay, they like more adultish ASMR type stuff. Okay, now the reason why I bring this up is because certain Japanese laws recently changed, and because of those laws, they found that several of their contracts were suddenly terminated. Okay, now those laws were signed, or those contracts were signed before the law when was signed. So by law, those contracts are still valid and they cannot be terminated because of the law change. But the agencies or companies are trying to terminate those contracts anyways. So in that case, it's wrongful termination, and the actress can turn around and sue those companies or agencies for wrongful termination of said contracts, because they sign contracts to produce or do voice work for you know several different ASMR videos or streams, or whatever, and that company suddenly terminates them like that. Wrongful termination. They can turn back around and they can they could sue for that. So same thing applies here with Mikeneko and Cover. Okay, now if she has produced evidence that she in fact did not share confidential information regarding company specific information that is confidential, internal use, cannot be publicly shown, and she can produce that in court, then she does have a case. That being said, it also depends on the district and the judge that said information is presented to. Because again, as we have discussed in and on my channel before, there have been multiple cases where, because of the conservative nature, and I'm not saying conservatism versus liberalism is, one is better than the other. Don't get me wrong on this, okay? This is not strictly a political thing. What I'm saying is that due to the nature and the culture of the way things currently are, there have been multiple cases where, because of the mentality, even though the woman has been completely wronged, the judge still sided with the people that wronged her. It makes no sense. The evidence clearly shows that, either the company or the agency or the organization wronged the actress or the singer or the person that was doing the work. Yet the woman that was still wronged still did not get justice. Nor did the company ever have to pay any damages. In fact, the judge, ordered the woman to pay reparations to the company for taking them to court. All right? Now, the case does need to be made that women as an entity in the workforce and as a contributor to the society within Japan is grossly misrepresented as a step below where men are. That is an undeniable fact. One only has to look in the political landscape of Japan to see this. Okay, when COVID hit over in Japan, one of the lower chamber representatives, which was a woman, approached the diet there and was voicing concern about a certain topic, and she was completely blown off by the prime minister. And she said, what are we doing here? You know, you have people that you have women who vote for you who are in need. Why aren't we helping them? And the chamber laughed at her. You know, you have companies over there, board of directors, not just Hololive, not just Cover. You have board of directors that literally publicly have said derogatory remarks towards women during press conferences, only to have to be forced to step down. And to this day, you ask them, you know, do you feel like you said anything wrong? They'll say no. Even though they say they said something completely derogatory towards that woman. That is the way that women are still being treated over there. Okay? So the fact of the matter is that and people need to understand this, get this through their head, because it drives me nuts. It really drives, especially when I see English people. And if you know, and I'm gonna do a shorter vid of this now that, like, you know, I've been able to like put a 180 on everything and completely read everything that she said or wrote versus only reading the first page. And Mikeneko, I apologize for not reading the entirety of this. Did she do a second one? Or is that just the... Okay, that's just the... Oh, she retweeted it. Okay. Yeah, it's... Look. I see people all the time on Twitter and everything else. You know, I mean, they're sitting there and they say, "I support you, Mikeneko. We're here for you, Mikeneko. You know, I'll always be your fan, Mikeneko." And they have all these hashtags and banners and all this other crap on their profiles and their names and everything else. You know, I support LGBTQ plus. You know, I support all this other stuff. I support the Me Too movement. I support women's rights. I support all this. I support this. I support that. I support this. But the moment you tell them something like this is going on, and you tell them, that this is affecting somebody like Mikeneko, they immediately get offended by it. And it's like you said something completely racist in front of them. It's like, yo, I'm Japanese, and I can recognize this. I can recognize that, the guy, my guys that live over in Japan, half of them have been born and raised to believe this crap. And that's why they're treating her this way. And I can see that the other half have really started to realize and open their eyes and say, hey, you know what? Maybe this is wrong. And maybe we should be treating her like a little bit better than what we should have, what we have been. Treat her like a person and not just an object, and maybe we shouldn't just erase her. And that's why they still support her. That's why she still has as many supporters as she has, especially in Japan. That's why the fight has still been carrying on. That's why people still believe in her. That's why she still has over 500, what is it, 800, thousand subscribers to her channel, because she has that many people that believe in her now. But the fact is that, Japan, is still very much stuck in behind in the way that they think in many aspects, and so many aspects, in mental health, and the way that they treat women, and the way that their society is, and the way that they operate, and part of the reason why it hasn't changed is because, number one, it's they feel that it's the most efficient way that that they've been able to run the country. But number two, if you notice, Japan is slowly dying. Their population is still declining. I mean, they have like some of the most densest population points in the world, yet their population is also continuously decreasing because they haven't changed, and they haven't grown, and they haven't adapted, and they haven't fixed. They haven't evolved their society to adapt to what needs to change in order to ensure the survival of their culture, of our culture. It's very easy. I mean, they literally changed mental health month to something else. So, I mean, whatever. But, I mean, that is what it is. But, I mean, I hope that more people start understanding this. That, I hope and I believe and I still think that regardless of what happens, that we need to keep cheering her to go, move forward. I think that she is finally taking those steps forward. We are definitely seeing the correct progress, the right progress. She is definitely, at least outwardly and publicly, showing the signs that she is regaining and recovering her mental faculties, that she is starting to recuperate and heal herself, and those capacities where she is regaining composure and regaining control over her life and over her her judgment, and not making impulsive impulsive decisions and responses, that it looks like and it feels like she is trying to just try to find and feel like becoming a person again, versus where she was, and which is good. The fact that she, people have asked me, why haven't I gone after her for saying that she wasn't going to stream until she hit 1 million, but yet she's streaming on Twitcasting. It's like, guys, look, okay, just because she's not streaming on YouTube until she hits 1 million does not mean that she cannot stream as on Twitcasting. And if you look at her Twitcasting is mostly the fact that she is giving it gives her an outlet to be able to be, to talk casually and not have to perform, you know. And if you listen to her twitcasting a lot of times, it seems like she's just going over the same things over and over and over again, at least when I listened to it, it always devolved back to, what people wanted to see, what people wanted her to do, what people thought, what you know the viewers thought would be the most entertaining, what people were currently playing, what was the big things that people were currently watching, um, you know, people asking her to do karaoke. Are you gonna sing again? When's the next time we're gonna be able to play something together? All those things. It's like, guys, come on, just let the girl talk. I mean, yeah, if she's asking for this stuff, sure, yeah, then yeah, engage her with that stuff. But I mean, it's like, you got like thousands of needy little boys that are like, oh, I need you can give me something. It's like, guys, stop it. Right now the girl just needs us to listen to her. Stop being so needy. Really. But I mean, more. I mean, I get it that, if a girl feels like she's needed, hey, it does. Hey, when a guy feels like he's needed, it does make a guy feel better and feel special too. So I mean, I do get that, but at the same time, I also think that, for her, just being able to talk is more important than, us always, like begging her for stuff, I mean, that would be like her, like, showing up on stream and begging for money, I mean, it's like, no, but I mean, that's just my outlook on it. Again, I am a very different type of streamer versus what is the norm out there. So, what I think is value is completely different than what a lot of other people are, consider. So that is what it is too. But yeah, I'm gonna do a little bit of digging later on today. I also do need to try to plan for Sunday stream on whether or not I'll be able to have everything together and ready for that. If I don't, I'm just gonna post on Twitter and maybe Discord whether or not I'm postponing that, but I am also going to try to put together a smaller compilation of the content that we covered on this stream, purely for people who just want a recap, since, my God, we have hit 3 hours, and I did not expect the stream this long. So much from this being a short gorilla stream. So I'm going to try to condense everything down in this, what we covered on this stream, into a more confined compilation of information for people to purely look at and examine, just from a standpoint of comparison of information. And then I'll check my sources, and just kind of hit my bases here over the next 24 hours, just to try to see if I can find any additional information that may have come out since these two press releases have been released. I am thinking that there has to be a little bit more out there, since they mention more than just social media, which means that, at least to me, that there has to have been something else that may have leaked along the way. And if the sources that I typically hit up are on point, they should hopefully have something. I hope. If they don't, I'll have to do a little bit more looking. So we'll see. But in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and sign off because it's almost 2 o'clock here in the morning. And Hoshian is supposed to stream here in about 4 hours. So I may take a nap. I may not. I may just stay up and wait for her to play Splatoon together with her, and then do either some recording or some research until she streams. If she gives me permission, I may co-stream with her. From my vantage point, I might ask her. I might not. It depends. Last time, she gave me permission, but that was purely for the collab purposes. I don't know if she'll feel comfortable just me streaming, since we are just playing casually. And if she's not comfortable with it, that's fine. I mean, it's not like we talk, privately while she's streaming anyways. But, if it's okay with her, I may stream. If it's, and if not, or if I start getting tired or groggy or whatever, I may just not stream and just hold off on it. So, yes, guys, thank you. Yeah, well, we'll talk later. I'll give you guys an update later on today on what's going on and what's I was hoping to do something on today, Saturday. We'll see. It may be a busy Saturday now that all this stuff's going on, and then I also, like I said, gotta prepare for Sunday. So we'll see. I'll keep you guys informed. We'll be in touch. Thank you everyone for showing up. Like I said, I will be doing a compilation recap video and upload that later on today of everything that we talked about here. So just so you guys are aware, when you see a video go live later on today, that's uploaded, that's what it will be. It will cover this. If there is additional information, I will inform you by Discord or by Twitter whether or not there is new information in that video or not. Okay? Other than that, thank you guys for showing up. I appreciate everyone being here. Thank you for the comments, inputs, conversations. I will try that fan game. If anything, I may try that fan game later on today. I did download that fan game, that Hololive game that's similar to Vampire Survivors. I did see you guys talking about that. I have downloaded it. I have not tried it yet. So I may actually try that game and stream that later on today, if anything else, because I saw Natsuri play it. And it looks really fun. I also saw Pam from Play Asia play it. Pam and Aki play it, and it looked really fun. So I may try it. I may try it. So, but I'll let you guys know. All right. So thank you guys for showing up. Thank you guys for being here. Until then, this is Marko Yamashita signing off. Peace.